Good morning, Sierra Leone. Good morning, Kono District. Good morning to all Kono Pikinem, waiting at the diaspora and the one that waiting back home na Sierra Leone. Good morning to every other Sierra Leonean, wherever you find yourself na the globe. And this now Kono News Network, the Kanto na Mina David Bongo. Good morning, Kono District. Good morning to all. Mina David Bongo, the Cantona. I get a guest today. This guest na one of we students them where they na Kono Students Union. I go get for introducing himself, but just for Leona know, I talk to an executive member of Kono Students Union, and if we get questions them based on what we discuss, when I can send them questions, then they go ready for answer them. And I want to tell executives of Kono organizations very boku thank you for the effort that they make for bring peace now with country, for bring peace now with district, for also create a platform where we will exchange ideas. Finally, I go on for tell thank you to the one that we don't subscribe. When I will not subscribe it, will they ask for let subscribe, wanna share, wanna provide comments them. Things that we wanna go able to discuss or let we all discuss together for let we make Kono be a better district, let Kono be a greater place for let we all enjoy. I go bring in me guest now. We na a member of an executive member of Kono Students Union, and then I go introduce himself to now. Yes, Mr. Jonathan, you get the mic.
Okay, good afternoon, and then from
Jonathan,
Sierra Leone, Freetown specifically. Yeah,
hello?
you get me? Yeah, I get you.
Yes, go ahead.
So, good afternoon, listeners, and wherever you they get me from. Mina Jonathan Changa, the national president for Kono Students Union National. You get me? Yeah, I
Okay,
get you.
so who say you the
So, good
study?
afternoon, listeners, and wherever I study in Afobe College, Mina Jonathan Changa, FBC, in
Okay,
short.
so Jonathan, I did get you clearly, but I also want to understand which institutions and where you do represent inside council.
Well, every and an institution at the country we get Konopic in there. Every institution, Njala, Magai, Fobe College, IPAM, Commerce, Kono University, every other university or institution we well recognized in the country, we get Konopic in there.
Okay. Thank you very much for that. I want we can now to the issues that we now the burning issues in our Connaught district where we all the try for faith for let we resolve politics and sorry the government they try the local people then they try the people themselves were involved when the Okman then they try for solve the problem right now within a Connaught district. So the first one where we get for talk about now the we get for do with human rights violations na KOIDU Limited. I go ask you the question in English. You can, if you want to respond in English, fine. If you want to respond in Creole, that's fine. So, what is Consul's position on the reported human rights violations at KOIDU Limited Mining Company?
Thank you very much. As a student body, um, I think the main factor or reasons why and then council was formed or created um, is in order to be our self-keeper, that is one, and then to be a pressure group in protecting our people, our land, not just students, but things that actually will be benefiting our district and the district as whole, not just students. So, and then now, straight to the question, considering the point about human rights violation, and so, um, our position there, in sometimes we take our time as how we handle issues as a student body. Yeah, we as a student, we are against human rights violation. It's very bad. We know the impact what it causes. Um, it can hinder a particular place, the progress, the economic, and then the stability of a particular place. It can destroy it. And sometimes human rights violation can even lead to chaos or war, as one of the things that was reported by the TRC as one of the factors that led to the Sierra Leone civil war. So we are against it, and then we are not in support of it by any means. We are against it because we know the repercussion of human rights violation. You can push somebody, but you cannot push somebody to the wall that they will bounce back. And once they bounce back, that may lead to certain chaos, and then the entire district or the country as a whole may be disturbed. You can push somebody, but you cannot push somebody to the wall that they will bounce back. And once they
Hello?
bounce back, yeah.
Okay, yeah. You finished with that?
The entire district or the yeah.
Okay,
So
okay, thank you.
we as a student, like I said, we as a student, we are totally against it because our primary and then agenda of and then the formation of KONSU is to run a very peaceful atmosphere of our district, protect our people, protect the students, not just the students, like I said, our people. Because if our people are not safe, if our people are being violated, our people that do pay our fees and all, if they are being violated to a certain extent, it affects us. Directly, it will affect us because it's our people that cares for us, pay our fees, lunch, and every other thing. So we are against every human rights violation. We are against it totally, and we are not in support of it.
Okay. Yeah, so are there any specific incidents or testimonies that KONSU is aware of or investigating?
In regards to human rights issue, human rights
Yes.
violation issue,
Yes.
well, and then we yet to get any of
Yeah.
that in our
So
decks
are there any
because,
specific
like I
incidents
said,
or
we
testimonies
don't
that
just
KONSU
jump
is
into
aware
something
of
like that.
or
We've been
investigating?
following, anyways, but we are yet to get that kind of report from
Yes.
any individual that he or
Yes.
she has been violated in whatever ways. Yeah, but we have issues in our decks that we are actually handling.
Okay. Okay, so we'll move on. Thank you very much for that. How do you think the government and civil society should respond to these alleged violations?
Well, specifically, what I may want to
Okay.
get clear,
Okay,
and
so we'll
are
move
we
on.
the violation?
Thank you
Is
very
it
much for
coming
that.
from the entire
How do you
issues of
think the government and
the
civil
KOIDU
society should
issue that we're
respond
talking
to
of?
these? Yeah, basically the Kwedu limited issues. Yes.
Because, like I told you, for us personally, we've never received any issue around human rights violation in our decks. So,
Okay.
me saying anything concerning that, I have to take my time. That is one. So,
Yeah,
secondly,
basically the
I
Kwedu
think
limited issues. Yes.
I would have expect a question like, and how do I expect government to involve in this issue that is around? Because rather than just saying that towards human rights violation or so, I think it will be limited. But I would have appreciated if it would have been,
Yeah,
and then
you
how
can
do I
really
expect
say
it
you
to
can really respond to an alternative question like that. You can give me your opinion based on
okay.
what you have just
So
said.
issue of such in our district, like I told you, our roles and responsibilities as students, and then we always want to see a very peaceful atmosphere in Kono.
Respond to an
Even though some
alternative
of us
question
are not
like that. You
there,
can
but
give
our
me your
people are
opinion
there, our family members, our
based
parents
on
are
what you
there.
have
We
just
always
said.
want to hear a very positive and then information from there. If they are not good there, no matter where we are, Europe, America, Asia, wherever, it will not be okay as well. So we are not okay, and then this thing is actually taking a step that some of us are getting worried. Even yesterday, as we were following, I'm not in Corona as I speak, but then 5 days ago, I was in Corona. Yesterday, I saw something, they forwarded it to me that workers' wives took up the street and then demanding for their husbands' benefit or salary or so. I saw that one also. These are things that have tendency to disturb the peace and even the economic activities of the district. So, in all of these things, and since it has a negative impact towards our district and the country as a whole, us as students, we asking government, central government to and the company itself and that of the human and that of the civil society activists to please involve in this fight. And we are not in a position and determine who is right, who is not right, because we've tried our best to get in touch with both parties. They are not treating us with that serious, so we have to take our time. So our position is not to determine who is right, who is wrong, but rather we want to see things get back to normal. That is to say, let the district be peaceful. So we're expecting government to involve in it, to take a very fast decision and see how they can call all parties in a round table and discuss it and agree into certain things that may get our district back into a very peaceful atmosphere like it has been. So
That's
that is all
good.
we're expecting.
I really appreciate that very, very much. And so we will move on to the second part, which has to do with the. I know you touched some part of it, but something to do with the sit-down strike by the mine workers. What is KONSU'S assessment of the recent sit-down strike by the mine workers at the same KOIDU Limited? And so we will move on to the
Well,
second
like I
part,
was
which
saying
has to do
about the
with the.
economic
I know you
and
touched some
impact,
part of
it
it,
has a
but
very
something
negative
to do with
impact
the
to the
sit-down strike
district
by the mine workers.
and the
What is
nation at
KONSU'S
large.
assessment
Yeah,
of the
I was
recent
in
sit-down
Kono
strike
for like
by the
two
mine
weeks
workers
ago,
at
quite
the same
recently. I think I traveled back on Saturday to Freetown, and so I've been interacting and so forth. It's actually it's actually killing. Yeah, imagine 900 workers just go down like that and then for how many months now without collecting a salary. And these 900 workers, they are breadwinners, having families. If you, let's say, if every one person or from that 900, 10 people didn't survive from one worker. So multiply 10 by 900, or 10 by 1,000, how many thousand and people will be affected that are currently affected. So it's very worried for the peaceful atmosphere of that place. And then it is very worrisome for, and then like considering the kush, people involving in this kush stuff and all. There were a lot of young people that were working at that place. So getting now a sit down strike and the thing is not being resolved as expected, frustration and discourage can also force youth to get into some of these and then bad drug stuff, and that may also hinder our district. Yeah. So it's very, very rough for our people, and then they're seeking for their and then benefit. It also worrisome, and no salary is running currently. I think it's like 3 months now. No salary is running, and these are breadwinners. It's very, very challenging. But back, we're not just coming out and blaming the company itself as that. We have a government, which we think is a parent body for the nation that can swiftly involve in these entire issues and get it solved. So our people not getting salary for the past 2 or 3 months now, it's actually hitting us, a negative impact, and even us as students, we're not receiving lunch as we've used to. Yeah, we've not receiving our school fees, and now college has opened back for second semester. We're struggling for our school fees and all. So it's actually hitting us. This can also trigger something that we call and then even some human rights violation. This thing can raise it up to some extent. The likes of stealing and then the armed robbery around the town and out of the town. Because when people don't have job, issues force them to involve in bad acts. So it's very worrisome within our district.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I see your concern and I get it correctly. But the same workers that you are talking about are not receiving job, um, and you've been talking to few of them. What would be the root cause that is actually leading to this, in your own opinion?
Well, like I've been following even the involvement of Her Excellency, the First Lady, and then our mama from Cornwall, the country at large. I've been following anyways. Yeah, The issue, based on my own understanding, people that have asked, following the issues on media, reading all articles that are coming out, is as a result of demands. Our people demanded for certain things, over 18 and then points that I read, which they demanded for. Yeah, for them to be paid within the dollar rate, which they agreed on, and for bus to be provided in order to be picking them along the street, which I supported, and then for their, like I said, it's over 18 things, yeah, that they listed. Yeah, but I think for the company, they fail to accept these 18 things, and then maybe they watch at it as it is that broad or whatever. I think that trigger everything. Yeah, the involvement of the first lady into that particular issue and all. So they could not accept as what the first lady and the people presented to them. The company did not accept it. So failing to accept it, that led to all what we are seeing so today.
Okay. So, in that regard, how should the company and government authorities address the demand of the workers to reach a successful conclusion where it will be a win-win situation?
Like me personally, and then as a representative, as a president for KONSU'S Student Union, somebody that have gotten some experience, Africa issues and all, yeah, the 18 stuffs they demanded, it's fine. Me personally, I want to see a very good life of everybody that is working there, because I might not have my dad working there, my mom, but I'm sure I must have some schoolmates, I must have some relatives that are working there. So I wish to see them living a very peaceful and a very positive life. They're having a good salary, a very condition of service. But outlining 18 things, if the company is against that 18 things, I'm expecting government, just as the and then First Lady did, then calling the parties together and say, okay, this thing is so much. Like I watched the video, one of the videos of the First Lady. She said this thing is so much. So the company will not accept this, but let's agree on 2-3 things, according to what I got from the first one of our videos. So I'm expecting our government to involve, and then by not supporting any parties, but to come in and see how peacefully this thing could be resolved. Like by saying, okay, the Optia company, with all these things that the people have listed, please help us with conditions of service that you think you can accept. And ask the citizens as well, that the people, what are the major, with all these 18 things, what are the major ones they actually needed? They also point it out, and get a dialogue together and resolve it. That's the only thing we are expecting.
Yeah, that's actually the next question I was going to ask you. Does KONSU plan to publicly support or engage with the mine workers in any way to solve this problem?
Yeah, we've issued out like 3 or 2 and then write-up that we've shared. It's all even in Sierra Loaded, Facebook, IB blog page. We've shared it in a lot of the platform. Yeah, our stance into this fight. Like our stance into this entire fight, we've always been calling parties to see reasons. Because no matter where you watch at it, all sides is important. Our people's lives and welfare is important to us. Going back from it, the company as well is important to us, because we need job at the end of the day. You get it? So
yes.
All we are seeking for as students, like to tell you one of the importance of the company, we just saw and then workers' wives taking off the street and their children demanding for their husband's salary and so on and so forth. That tells you the company is as well important. So we are asking government to involve and see reason how it can solve. We cannot just ask the company to get off that place and all. It will take a time for us to have another company to take over, and that will have a lot of challenges for us from that part. I know what I'm saying. We have to take our time in whatever we are doing. That is why for us as a student, all the documents that we've been issuing out, except the one that has to do with the scholarship issue of the Kono University of Science and Technology, which the company said they are paying for all students there. That is the only one we've demanded from the company to tell us where that money is being given to, how the money is being paid. Let them tell us, because the students there are not getting that scholarship. But for the other things, we've always been in this one position, asking for dialogue, for the involvement of government. The First Lady has played her part, but we expect central government to involve in it, talk to both parties. Central government is the central umbrella of everything as a parent. Their involvement within a day, I'm sure this thing will be resolved.
Yeah, like I told you, I was also one time an executive member of KONSU'S Students Union, and in our own days, we used to engage the paramount chiefs, we used to engage the politicians and our representatives. We talk to them, and sometimes we are invited to either their places or we invite them to our meetings. Is KONSU doing something similar to that, meeting with the authorities to really solve social issues of this nature?
Okay, so we've tried that. Let me tell you something. The most difficult thing of this entire fight, yeah, a lot of stakeholders from that place don't even want to get a voice, a say into this, because what I've detected, they are hesitating for them not to be, and then because they've already called their names. That is what I've noticed. They've already called their names, pointed at them that they are responsible for it. So most of these people, when you even ask them on phone, they will respond to you in whatever message. But when you ask them about this Octa issue, blah, 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 they will never talk to you again. Yes, I've tested it enough. But what we've planned, there is a document now, which we have reviewing it, which we want to share. We want to call for a very and then public gathering from every stakeholders, the police, the soldier, paramount chiefs, civil society, radio stations, footballers, club owners, every sector in Kono district, every walks of life. We've drafted a letter, and by Monday, the letter will be going out demanding for a meeting on the 24th of this particular month to meet in a town hall, have a town hall meeting, and ask them to provide solution. Politicians are also involved, all the 14, all the parliamentarians, all the mayor, they are all involved, they are all in our list. They all will be contacted. We'll be distributing the letters very soon and have a town hall meeting. That is also our next plan. Like I told you, since the starting, the genesis of this fight, our point here and our stance remain the same. We are calling for a dialogue for both parties to see reasons as how it can be solved.
That is very, very important. It is good for both parties to see reasons to resolve the issue, and I appreciate that very much from you. I know you did talk briefly about scholarship. I'm coming back to that actually. What is KONSU'S evaluation of the scholarship programs offered by KOIDU Limited?
Well, like to that regards, just like I told you earlier, both parties are important. The company as well is important. Today, we have a lot of medical doctors. Yeah, we have lawyers that this company has been paying for. Yeah, we also have another professions that this company has been paying for. Yeah, and they are still paying. Like I currently have some document with me, which they paid for some students that I have that I'm currently distributing. Yeah, and now they said they are paying for every student in the Kono University of Science and Technology, which we are yet to get the proof of, because the students there are not getting it. I could recall some months ago, I was in Kono when they were writing their first semester exams. They called me on phone to go to their university and plead for them, for their chancellor and so, to allow them to write the exams. So for KOIDU Links to share a document saying they are paying for students there, that is why we are tracing that particular information. We've demanded for KOIDU Links to help us with an information to to the particular person they are paying that money. If it is fact and the students are benefiting from it, it's fine. It's nice. Yeah. But for that particular one, we still have problem of it.
Okay, yeah, you did mention that KOIDU Limited has paid for students who are now doctors and I don't know whether you talked about lawyers. Do you have
Yeah.
an estimated number of students who are doctors that have been benefiting from this scholarship?
No,
Okay, yeah, you
that's a
did
research has
mention
not
that
been done. I
KOIDU
cannot just
Limited has
call
paid
because
for
you cannot get
students who are now
a
doctors and
number of such without
I don't
involving
know
in a
whether you talked
research.
about lawyers.
But there are
Do
one
you
or two
have
that I
an
know,
estimated number of
and
students
because
who are
I'm aware
doctors
that
that have
even
been
when I was in primary
benefiting from
school
this
or so,
scholarship?
that company has been helping with scholarship that I'm aware of. Even during my first program at the university, I was not a beneficiary from Optia, but I benefited from the Sierra Leone grant in aid. During my days, my first program, there are students that I'm aware of that benefited from it. But I cannot give you a clear and then number here
No,
now.
I'm not looking just an
I don't.
estimated. Like you said you know of two, and that's fine.
Yeah, I
Uh,
know of two or three or so. Yeah, I know. I know
yeah,
of them.
yeah. So, do you believe
Mhm.
the company is doing enough to support education in Kono?
Well, not enough, I may say, because like for us, Consul, they're only providing 6 space for us or so. But in general, in total, as they told us, they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
giving
So, do you
for
believe the
5 years,
company is
there
doing
were
enough to
challenges,
support
yeah.
education in Kono?
But they revived it last year. The scholarship. The scholarship was stopped for like 3, 4, or 5 years. But last year, when I was serving as the national vice president with my boss, Keziah, we fought so hard and then revamped the scholarship again. So they provided 33 scholarships for the entire Kono district, but they only provide for us 7. So when we asked about the remaining ones, they told us the stakeholders also have one or two. Who are these stakeholders? There's a member of parliament.
Wow.
Yeah, members of parliament and some stakeholders within the district are benefiting from it. So
Yeah,
out of the
that is
33
actually
that
my
they
next
gave,
question. Sorry to cut you off. That is actually my next question. Have there been any transparency or accessibility concerns related to these scholarships?
like our stance regards to this scholarship, we've always been asking for all of these 33 or 30 to be given to us as Kono Student Union, because we know ourselves, we know people that are actually participating in terms of the growth of Kono district. Yeah, but just giving us 6 quota, it's difficult to be shared. We have over 1,000 students in our WhatsApp group, so it's difficult to be shared. We've
So
demanded for them to
if I
help
can
us.
get you correctly, the company gives 33 and then you only receive 6. Is that correct?
6, yes, but when I pleaded, when we were there having a meeting with Paramount Chief, we said this 6 will be difficult. And for us last year, they said, okay, because of
So
you guys were
if
that
I can
humble in
get you correctly,
advocating
the
for in
company
order for
gives
this thing to revamp, you
33
play
and
your
then
role.
you only
So
receive
we'll add
6. Is
1
that
for you.
correct?
So that makes it up to 7 last year.
That's the paramount chiefs that told you that.
Yes, when we had a meeting with him and the company people.
You said him. Is that the group of paramount chiefs or just one paramount chief?
No, the paramount chief of the particular chiefdom, when we
That's
had
the
meeting with
paramount
him
chiefs
and the
that told you
company,
that.
he told us that he will ask the company to add 1 for us, to take out of that 33
You
or
said
so
him.
and add it for
Is
us,
that
which
the
makes it
group
7,
of
because we
paramount
demanded for,
chiefs
if
or just
possible, let
one
them help
paramount
us
chief?
with 10. But they said no, they will not be able because stakeholders are also getting their own quotas.
So, are they giving the scholarship for the general body of students in Connaught district, or they have two categories? One part for students, one part for paramount chiefs.
Well, the stakeholder, I'm not sure it's for the paramount chiefs.
So,
Yeah,
are they
it's for
giving
like, because
the
what they told us,
scholarship
they said
for the general
parliamentarians.
body of students in Connaught district? Oh,
They
okay.
said
For
parliamentarians, not,
okay, okay,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So, but the paramount chief of Tankoro, as you're saying, is the one that gives it out to you guys, to the students, correct?
No, he's not the one. Because what we did as a traditionalist, what we did not attack the company directly or talk to the company directly. What we did, according to the advice they gave to us, we met with the paramount chief and talked to him as a daddy. Because, like I told you, the team was shut down for like 4 or 5 years. Nobody was benefiting out of it. So when we came last year, we advocated. So the first step we did was we met with the paramount chief, PC Paul Gabasakwi. We pleaded, we asked him to kindly help us, to lead us the way and talk to the company and government to resolve this entire issue. So he was like a father in helping us fighting this entire stuff. And at the end of the day, we succeeded. So the paramount chief is not the one. The paramount chief is not the one that earned us the scholarship.
No, I understand. I understand.
Thank you.
Yes, I understand. I was just trying to get a distinction between the politicians and the paramount chiefs. So how are the 6 that you get, how is it distributed?
Well, that is very, very difficult, sir. It's very, very difficult. We have 4 regions. Like I told you, we are over 9 to 1,000 in our WhatsApp group, just having 6 or 7 space and all. It's difficult. But what we did after we consulted people, we asked by region to help us with one each. So each region help us with 1 person. That is 4. Yeah. The South help us with 1 name. The East, the North, and that of the West. So 4 names out of the 7. And then the remaining 3, we sat among our executive and then identify people that we think that deserve it, and we help them with it. So that is how we share the 7.
Okay. Okay, so thank you very much for that information. It is very, very important for us to know about that. So what recommendations would KONSU make to improve corporate social responsibility efforts in education sector?
What's coming again?
I say, what recommendations would KONSU make to improve corporate social responsibility efforts in the education sector?
Well, like I said earlier, one of the recommendations that we will make, one of our positions is that wherever this scholarship is being and then distributed or is being discussed, and then our presence should be there. That is one. We don't only want to be called and say, "Una send 3 names, una send 4 names." Yeah, we want to see who are these beneficiaries. Are they indeed Kono people? And then we want the quota to be added. Yeah, giving us just 6 or 7 is too small. We want it to be added. In fact, the general scholarship, rather, instead of 30, we want it to be increased to that of 50. Because we think we deserve better.
Is it 30 or 33?
33. I'm just saying 30 or so. 33.
Okay.
Yeah. So increasing it for us to 50, I think it will be better. Because we want to see every and then university student from Kono to benefit out of it. And then we know that much. If you can provide 50 every year, as time goes on, it will be reducing. Because not every academic year will be having that kind of massive passes of students going to university. Trust me, if I not just that company that we are talking of here, let me lay this thing here, yeah? We're all focusing on Octia mining, KOIDU holdings. But we've not been fair to them to some extent. There are other companies, yeah, like the mayor. They are also producing, they are also getting a whole lot from that place. What are mayor doing? What are students benefiting from mayor company?
Well, honestly, what I'm trying to really say here, my focus is on mining companies in Kono district, not just KOIDU Limited. I'm just bringing KOIDU Limited because it's the largest employer. But the focus is on all the mining companies.
Saying we're not being honest, I'm not referring to you directly. But even our very selves from Kono, to some extent, we're not being honest with. And then imagine, let me make this clear. All the things that KOIDU Holdings they've point out that they are doing for Kono, if that of Mayor also can point out similar things that they are doing for Kono, and that of C-Right, imagine three big companies, Octa said they are providing 33 scholarships. If Mayor can provide 10 or 15, if Octa can provide 10 or 15, we can have over 60 scholarships yearly. I think that would be good. Yeah.
So if I can understand clearly, Mayor is not giving anything, C-Right is not giving anything.
At all not. I don't know. It's not reaching us as students.
Okay.
It is so on that point, I don't know.
Okay.
It is not reaching us as students. The one that is reaching us as students that every student in Kono District is aware of is that of the KOIDU scholarship.
Okay.
And we are benefiting from it.
Okay, thank you very, very much for that. We'll move on. I know you also have your studies to do. The other thing I want us to talk about now is broader social and developmental concerns in Kono on a broad basis. What are the top 3 social challenges affecting students and youth in Kono District today?
I think employment is something we will not escape. It's one key thing. And then at night, if you visit this street called Conera Street, you see hundreds of youth there, nodding, sleeping out of this cushion. So, yeah, I'm sure it is as a result of employment. And secondly, is I also want to watch at the educational sector, the university. Not every student have that and then strength or power or relatives to migrate from Kono and travel elsewhere for tertiary education. Now, yes, we want to commend the government. They've started the construction of our university in Kono, but it's yet to be completed. In fact, it has been stuck. Nothing is being said about it. And what has get us distracted from that and then that university structure is this fight. But we really have a lot of index to bring up about that university. We're calling them in order to complete the structure of that university so that people that are sitting worse in Kono that don't have the chance to migrate to Freetown, to Makeni and Danagbo, they can get themselves engaged and be educated in Kono District. That is also another thing. The educational sector, it also needs to be solved and adjusted.
Okay. So what initiatives has KONSU undertaken to address issues like unemployment, like you said? You mentioned drug abuse, gender-based violence. What initiatives have KONSU actually put in place or planning to take?
There are a lot of things that we've planned. There are a lot of things on our desk. Yeah, a lot of proposals. The likes of this thing that we call orientation, university and orientation. That is one, because one thing we notice from the student angle, people are still finding it difficult to know the requirement of various universities. So some can even have 4 credits, but they are not sure they can come to Fobe College. So we have a proposal on that, an orientation for and students that are yet to go to university to know the requirement. We also have a proposal on career day to discuss on various careers from students and other people as how to handle issues. We also have issues that has to do with a corporate world, people that have graduated. We have students in Kono that they've graduated, no job, nothing is being done. So we want to get them involved and get people that are in the corporate world to talk to them, especially the entrepreneur stuff, to talk to them and tell them how they've been doing theirs, guide them and direct them that we should not only sit and wait for us to be employed, but rather we can have a way and employ ourselves or employ others.
Looks like you are seeing ahead of my questions. How would you describe the relationship between KONSU and the traditional authorities, local government, and private companies in Kono?
Well, the relationship is not that bad, but just that some of the things that we are expecting, we are not getting it. Like all these proposals are down and all. So like I told you earlier, this thing is disturbing, this KOIDU fight. Yeah, this fight cannot be on, and you pay less attention to it and started saying, let's talk on this, let's talk on that. This is a very major fight from our district. So the relationship with them is quite okay, but and then for some, even if you need their attention, you have to chase them, you have to run up, and we have students. We struggle with transportation. Like for me, whatever thing you want to do, you want to get them with all seriousness, and you have to travel to Kono. Even if they are in Freetown here, you find it very difficult to get them. Some will tell you, "Logo me talk na Kono." And transportation now travel to Kono and back. I spend not less than 500,000 leons because it's 200,000 going, 200,000 returning. That is 400,
Wow.
400
On
new
the
leons.
government bus or private transportation?
Government, on private transportation like the Sierra Star, we pay actually is 190, 190 leons. So I'm just calling it 200 leons because
Wow.
for my resident here, Phoebe College
On the
to
government
Shell,
bus or
I pay
private
20 or
transportation?
15 leons. Then I pay 190 going to Kono. So I just consider it to be 200 leons going,
Yeah, yeah,
returning
it's really,
200 leons.
yeah,
God.
yeah. It's
Like
really
I
a
told
big
you,
challenge.
I traveled back on Saturday to Kono, to Freetown. I was in Kono. I traveled on Saturday.
Yeah, it's really a big challenge. I can understand where you're coming from. So I hope our authorities are paying attention to these things. These are really burning issues, especially for students. And with the
Sure,
current economy, it is really a big challenge.
sure,
So,
sure.
what's your message to the youth and students population regarding civic engagement and community development? What would be your message to the youths?
Well, to the youth, I know it and currently challenging. Yeah, currently I know the mindset is being troubled. Yeah, like there is an issue within the three major companies, all in Kono district now as I speak. Nor is that effective. So the youth of Kono district are actually worried. The mindset is getting somehow disturbed every now and then. Nobody want to hear anything except talking about a job. But my message to them here, it's challenging, but let's have something in mind that there is always hope. Let's just keep ourselves in a positive direction. Don't allow anybody to ask you to run after any of our stakeholders to go and then destroy properties, destroy lives, running after ourselves. Let's be ourselves keeper, protect ourselves, and let there be hope.
That's
Once there
great.
is life, there is always hope.
That is great. That is great. Mr. Changa, I really appreciate your thoughts. On a
Thank
final
you.
note, we are rounding up. If you had one message to deliver directly to the leadership in Kono District, what would it be?
Well, to the leadership, of course, some have been paying attention. Some are yet to pay attention. Like when we talk about the leadership of Kono District, for me, I want to involve all, even those that are in central government. I want to involve the Honorable Vice President. I want to involve and then the First Lady, Her Excellency. I want to involve the parliamentarians, cabinet ministers, paramount chiefs, and all. Now, one of the challenges that we are having as students, and we are not that independent. Let me tell you this, yeah. We actually struggling. We've tried our best to get ourselves independent so that when issue of such arise, we will not be listening to anybody that will knock at your door for a leons or 1,000 leons or so. But we actually not getting attention as to how we want it. We've tried our best to meet with certain stakeholders, but attention are not being paid to us.
Okay,
Even
so
when this saga was on,
yeah, this brings me to
when
this
this thing,
question.
yeah,
Mr. Changa, what can
yes, sir.
students and young people in Kono do to hold both companies and public officials accountable?
Well, what we do to hold them accountable for now as students, it will be difficult, like I told you earlier. Being independent can help us to dig into whatever we want to dig in without any fear or favor. Yeah, being independent without considering anybody that this person is helping us, this sector is helping us, the other party is helping us. So for now, it's actually that difficult, because even having a correct information, we are not getting it. So how do you think of holding someone accountable? Now they spoke of they paying for every student at KONO University of Science and Technology. We don't have a document to effect on that. We've issued out a press, we've asked the company to help us as to who they are paying that money to, where, when, and this. Nobody is saying anything to us. We've copied stakeholders. We are yet to receive a call from all of those that we've copied to tell us something. So we've not been treated as that serious. That's something that we are facing with. So holding someone accountable, there must be evidence and some stakeholders paying attention to you. But that is the problem that we are facing.
So would you attribute that stumbling block to the company or to the stakeholders?
Well, from both sides, I may say, from both sides. From both sides.
Finally, we are just wrapping up now. What legacy do you hope to leave as the president of KONSU?
It's based on my plans before I actually took up leadership. And then if you were following, and one of the things that I've laid emphasis on is that of us becoming independent. Yeah, it's something that we're actually trying to achieve, and that is something I'm pushing for. If I can achieve that one, then that could be, I will actually rest well and say I've done something better for the union to become independent.
Yeah, I see you. Because at the end of the day, when you finish your studies, you really want to become independent. I can see that very, very much. Do you have anything else to say?
Well, I think in conclusion, I'm still repeating it again. We are asking the central government, the First Lady has played her own part. And then there are people behind the doors, paramount chiefs, they've played their own part by calming their and then chiefdom people to be calm and patient. I'm sure there are parliamentarians also that have played their own part. Us, we've played our own part. We're still encouraging our youth to be calm, and we continue talking to government to fastly involve into this thing and get it solved. Unemployment, injustice, it is something that lead to certain things that may destroy or disturb the peace and economic activities of the nation. So, us as students, we're still asking government, the president, His Excellency, President and retired Brigadier Julius Madabio, who once said KONO matters to him during campaign. We're asking him in such time when we needed him for KONO to be matters to him again. Just as Her Excellency is doing, we want him to support. And all those that we are going with His Excellency during campaign, that we are all saying KONO matters to them. The Chief Minister, Dr. David Monya Shenge, the Vice President, and then Honorable Julia Jallo, and all other, the Minister of Labor, Mr. Soare, the Minister of Mines. We're asking them all to put on decks, just as during campaign. KONO was matter to them. And even at this point in time, when we've given them power, we want KONO to still continue to be matters to them, to complete our university, to our Guinea Road to be remembered as they promise us, the issue of this octare to be solved so that our fathers, our uncles and aunties can get back to work, so that our district can be that peaceful. One thing I want to remind this government, There were times when some districts we are actually supporting chaos, disturbing the peace atmosphere of this country. Kono was very peaceful in listening to this government, especially His Excellency and our sister, our mother, and then Our Excellency Fatima Bio. There has never been any chaos that Kono participated in, because we respect the leadership of the government and all. To whom much is given, much is expected. We've done our best. We voted them in. Kono was matter to them. We're still asking them for us to be. Of course, they've done well. We enjoy electricity. That is sure. I cannot just ask them without commending them. They've done well. We enjoy electricity. 24 hours. I can tell you, going to Kono, man, before now, I will be worried about electricity. But for now, Kono is safe. Not even Frita or McKinney will stand Kono in terms of electricity. Kudos to them on that. So we want other issues to be resolved. But how can our people enjoy the electricity if they are not in salary? On salary, I mean. If they are not on jobs, how can we enjoy the electricity if the university is not that effective so that students can do their assignments, switch their laptops on? So that's it. I want to stop here. I appreciate your media also. And God bless our districts and all.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Changa. And I actually also do appreciate your time, taking this time out of your busy schedule to talk to me, or to talk to Kono News Network. This is one thing that we all can do to develop our place, to help solve our problems back home. You either involve physically, or you provide conversations like this to guide our people. And I will also appreciate in future, maybe I will get back to you for follow-up questions, for follow-up on what is happening right now. And maybe we will focus more on students, their challenges. In future, maybe our conversation will be on that. But for now, I want to thank you very much, and I'll get back to you in future. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Bye.
Thank you.
Maybe we will focus more on students, their challenges. In future, maybe our conversation will be on that. Okay, for now, I want to thank you very much, and I'll get back to you in future. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Family them thank you for listen. This na the student union president, KONSU'S student union president, conversation will be on that. Talk to. Okay,
thank you
very much. You can have Nathan Changa in future. Thank you. Say we all don't listen and we don't hear what they say. Family them for tell thank you for listen. This na like. And on a provide comment president council for also dedicate this to KMM executive. You can have Nathan Changa. Thank you very much.